I'm Julia Prats, Professor of Entrepreneurship, and at the same time, I'm also the head of the academic director, let's say, of our Entrepreneurship and Innovation Center. And I'm in the executive board of IESE, and I am in charge of all the academics, meaning I'm the academic director for the school. So this is more or less what I'm doing, but at the end of the day, an entrepreneurship professor. I would say that everything starts if we look at the roots of the school. So the school was thought for precisely people that were running their own companies. So the school has already 60 plus years. So we have been celebrating our 60th anniversary already. And since the beginning was thought through for people that they were owners of their own firms, small or big, but owners. So what that means is the mentality of the school has been always thinking about our participants as people that have a CEO perspective, and they have something that they need to run, and they need to run it for the future, not only being effective today, but also building an institution that will last. So when you have that mentality, entrepreneurship comes absolutely natural, because that's the way that you get not only, I would say, the bread of today, but also the bread of tomorrow. And for building new opportunities, building new growth opportunities, you need that the CEO and the executive of a firm has this mentality of not thinking only about the short term, but also the long term. So I would say that that's one thing. The second thing is that the school has always also been practicing it as a school. We have a group of what we call associate schools that have been schools that are independent from IESE, but were started with our help. So we also practiced being entrepreneurial, and at this point we have 20 plus business schools around the world that were started with our help in Latin America, in Africa, and also in Asia. So as a school, we have been also being entrepreneurial at the institutional level. And also, if you look at the portfolio of programs, IESE launched the first full-time MBA 2 years in Europe, many years back in '64. We also launched a very innovative program in the year 2000 called a Global Executive MBA that was in the year 2000 was already a blended program. So when we nowadays talk about blended, this is something that for us is very natural, because we already had our top level graduate program, that's the Global Executive MBA, being already blended, and so on and so forth. So I can talk about more things, but as you see, the school itself is entrepreneurial, and we have been also putting entrepreneurial, I would say, content in every single program, not only the MBA or the executive MBA, but also in our executive programs. So every executive that goes through IESE has modules where we discuss entrepreneurial issues. So that's probably why, it's present all over. I think that it's important to be ahead if it's possible. I'm not against being a second best if it's necessary. So I think that there is a mix, right? There's a mix between what we want to do as an institution. This is an institution that has a mission. We really want to accomplish our mission. And in order to do that, we will try to build things that we think make sense nowadays. So some of the things that now we have on the table make more sense and less sense, depending on how we look at according to our mission. So for instance, we may think about all the online world. There are things that make sense for us. There are things that they make less sense for us. So I would say that yes, if we want to, we would like to be pioneers on different things, but it's going to be what is according to our mission, not in a race, not in a blind race. We are very humble, because at the end of the day, our alumni, the ones starting, these are the ones that make the numbers. They are the ones that really make these things happen. So if we have been a catalyst in doing that, if we have added some value for them to do it, that's our contribution. So I think that very humble to see it, and also very proud of thinking that these are people that have been going through the school, and in general they help the school and they support the school. So I would say that more than proud, we are humble to see that maybe with some help, but mainly this is their award. So their work and their hard work. So humble to be proud, or proud to be close to them. I think that having role models of good companies, well managed, with that they are creating jobs, that they are thinking about problems that are important for society. We really want to acknowledge that this is the type of things that we would like to see going forward, not only in our alumni, but in many others. So that's why I think having an award, what helps is to visualize good projects, and of course I would say better people than the projects that could be role models for others. I think that that's probably one way to put it, and this is why making it visible may help others to do the same. Well, there is a panel that has evaluated all these. These are a group of alumni that has been already involved in other things, and they have been using some criteria, as you can imagine. Size is not one of the criteria, because we have very different sizes and very different sectors and very different. So I think they are looking at other criteria, or this is one of the criteria, but not the most important one. But we have from NGOs to companies that have gone public in public markets. So I would say this is a good range, and I would say that that's precisely what makes this nice, right? Because then you don't feel you may feel inspired by very different models, and that also is part of what we are looking for. At the end of the day, we really believe that business has a huge impact in society, and the way we run businesses has a huge impact in society. And because you have many people, everybody's involved at the end, working for some organization. So what organizations do has huge impact, and we really believe that companies may have this positive impact that we need nowadays, especially when sometimes things are so gloomy, right? Having companies that take care of their people, that they have all these good things, it's putting hope on many people. We would not like to have a ranking, or we would not like to have, because at the end, as I said, each one contributes very differently. But it also helps to have some categories that we want to push. And for instance, the woman one is very clear, right? Having role models in women in entrepreneurship is nowadays more and more common, but it has not been easy to get there. So we want to contribute also to highlight this, for instance, or technology, for instance. That's another thing that we are deep technology. We are very interested in. So we have chosen these categories just to highlight one company in this category. But again, it's not. We are not very keen of doing any kind of ranking or saying this is better than the other. It's just highlighting some of the, I would say, areas where a little bit of more visibility helps. When we are doing the 40 under 40, we are choosing from our alumni. What that means is some of them were already entrepreneurs. Some of them have become entrepreneurs after the program. The same thing with investors, the same thing with startups and scale-ups, meaning at different stages. So for instance, I'm teaching now a class where I have several entrepreneurs sitting in my class. So definitely we have a program called School of Founders. And it's a category of programs, and one of the programs in that School of Founders, it's what we call scaling. And precisely this is for companies that have been already started, that I already have a business model that is proven, and the next thing that we do is helping them to scale. Usually these guys are not alumni from IESE, because my understanding, and I think that's what our history also tells us, is that a good MBA or a good executive MBA or even a good executive program helps you in that scaling phase too. So many times they already have some of the skills, but in the School of Founders we have people that have not gone through any of our regular programs, but they are already entrepreneurs, they already have a startup, and now they want to scale. So I would say that that IESE attracts entrepreneurs, definitely scale-ups, but many times also transforms people that never thought that that could be something for them, that now they see that they can do because of the training that they had. So the three of them. In terms of the investment, same thing. In general, people become, working VCs, they need some kind of training, usually an MBA, very helpful. If they are investors later on in life, when they have been already good entrepreneurs and so on, they also, I would say, they also need this this overview or this general point of view that the general manager has, a CEO has. So all our training helps in the activity of an entrepreneur, someone that needs to scale it, and definitely someone that needs to invest. So, or that is investing. So I would say that yes, in both cases, we get people that have done this activity before, and then they reskill themselves on things that they didn't see, or people that never thought that that could be an area of working, and now after the training that they receive here in different programs, they see that that is an activity that they would like to embrace. Why it's so important is because we define entrepreneurship as a capability. So this is not a gene. This is not something that you do when you are young, or it's no. This is something that is part of your management tools that you need to master if you really want to become a CEO. I would say that the higher you are in the organization, the more important it is for you to think about the future and being able to set up new opportunities for your large corporation. So the way we look at entrepreneurship is always with this idea that it's a capability that you need to have, it's a mindset that you need to have, and then certain, of course, capabilities that you need in that process, that entrepreneurial process. So if that's true, then in every single program that we do, this is for general managers, for executives or wannabe CEOs, this is going to be something that we need to put in place, right? So for their training. So this is why that's the mentality we have, or that's the concept that we have behind. Now, how we do that? Two ways. We have a department of entrepreneurship with more than 20 professors. That of course then teach in all these programs. We have a group of full-time, a group of part-time professors that cover all the teaching. And then secondly is we have built this Entrepreneurial and Innovation Center that is the one that runs every type of activity that complements that. For instance, all the MBA programs have a club, right? So an entrepreneurship club, so they can do their activities there, invite entrepreneurs, talk to investors, have conferences, and so on and so forth. We also have a business angel network. What that means is more than 200 investors meet every month at IESE and look at a bunch of projects every month. There is a bunch of projects that are being presented to the Business Angel Network. And in fact, the IESE Business Angel Network is the most productive network in Spain in terms of investments. Last year we did more than 30 investments, and every year keeps growing. So I think that that's one thing. We have also a fund under this umbrella of the Entrepreneurship and Innovation Center. This fund is a fund that some alumni have put together in order to invest in projects that are coming from our alumni. Then we have also what we call the Search Fund Institute. And this is one way that is acquiring a firm. Instead of starting from zero, you acquire firms very small, and then you grow it. And it's a system, well, it's a whole model behind. Or we have the Corporate Venturing Institute, where we have been developing a bunch of studies on how large corporations work with startups. And we have several projects behind that Corporate Venturing Institute, where we help startups to work with the large corporations, and large corporations understanding how to work with startups. So as you can see, it's a full ecosystem. And I would say plus then, a mentoring system, or a program called We Grow, and a mentoring system called We Start for the different levels of startups and scale-ups. So at the end, it's having an ecosystem that supports the educational, the education that we bring into class. So then alumni can take advantage. For instance, we have some statistics that have been running for some years. If you take the MBA, the executive MBA, around 30%, 5 years after the course, they start something. So, and when you take a look at the business plans, it's funny because many of these 40 under 40 have been in my class, right? Have been, thinking about doing the business planning class, and then later on it becomes a reality, right? So if you think about Hola Luz, if you think about Naturitas, if you think about travel perks, so there are some of the companies that really it was a business planning class, or advanced medical, or Privalia, or so. You can see that really there is a bunch of companies that were started as a business planning class. Many times is not the case, or other times is not the case, and either they already had it in mind, or they did it afterwards, after the course. But it's a good mix of having both things. Now, in terms of getting people on board in the team, that I can tell you that that's the case. It's very difficult to see one solo, right? You see a lot of people like from the same class or from the same course being together, organizing a new venture together. So yeah, that happens all the time.